Okay, let me continue with the rest of the handout. These items that are following may be more complicated, but I'm sure they will be more useful for your assignment because the ones that I've been explaining are very simple, but the verses that you will be diagramming are more complex. So these examples will become more useful as you go through. So let's look at number 11, prepositional phrases, right? So it means it's a phrase, but they are prepositional phrases. Means it's following a preposition, right? So if you look at it, this verse, testimony of Christ was confirmed among you, right? So in this sentence, what is the subject? Of course, it's testimony, right? Testimony was confirmed. I believe this is subject and this is verb. I believe we have to add a diagonal line here, and this will be predicate. Adjective. Okay, so testimony was confirmed. Okay, and then we have prepositional phrases here. Testimony of Christ. So this is a prepositional phrase that's modifying testimony. So whatever is modifying something goes under the word that it is modifying, right? So of Christ, which is a prepositional phrase, is modifying testimony, right? Testimony of Christ. So that's why we made this diagonal line and then another horizontal line that's parallel to the baseline of Christ, right? And then was confirmed among you. Confirmed among you. I would say I will put it under confirmed. Confirmed where? Among you. So this is a preposition. This as a whole is a prepositional phrase. So any prepositional phrases will go below the baseline, but they will be located below the word that they modify. Okay. Go to number 12, infinitives. Infinitives. Infinitives, in other words, it's a phrase that's headed by to something, right? To something. So look at this sentence taken from Romans 14:21. Not to eat flesh is good. Not to eat flesh is good. So here, not to eat flesh as a whole is an infinitive phrase, right? Infinitive phrase. And then that phrase is functioning as the subject, right? So the whole thing is subject, but this is more than one word, so we lift it, right? And then who's not eating flesh? We don't know, but basically everyone, right? So we'll leave the subject section empty, and to eat is the subject and not to eat, so we'll put not here, or you could put not. This is fine, right? Either way is fine. Not to eat. This is verb, and flesh is direct object, right? So this line, this vertical line that's standing on the baseline. So not to eat flesh. This is the dividing line between the subject and the verb, right? So subject here, and this is verb, and predicate. Oh, adjective, right? So good explains this. What is good? Not to eat flesh, right? So this is a predicate adjective. So anything that's more than one word should be lifted. Okay. Okay. Let's go to okay, another example. They were seeking to take him, to arrest, right? So they, subject, line, verb, and seeking what? So this is as a whole direct object, right? Direct object. But this is a preposition, or it's kind of an infinitive phrase, right? Sorry, infinitive phrase. So it's more than one word, so we'll have to lift it. Lift it to take him. They were seeking, or the subject is kind of assumed. Subject is they actually, right? But we don't need it in English. They were seeking for them to take him, right? So we leave it. So subject is missing, and the verb to take, this is direct object. So this is direct object of the direct object phrase, right? So they were seeking to take him. Okay, think about it. Keep thinking about it. Anything that's more than one word will be lifted. Okay, and then number 13, participles. Participles basically like ing form, right? So this is actually participles are functioning like adjective or adverb. Okay, adjective again modifies noun. Adverbs modifies adjective or another adverb or verb, right? So look at here the example. The one fearing, fearing probably God. The one who is fearing God is acceptable to him, right? So here the whole thing is a subject, but one is the subject actually, and the is just modifying the one, and then we have fearing, the one who is fearing, right? So when you have a participle like this, you will add a vertical line below the baseline, and then you will draw another line that's parallel to the baseline, and then put the participle on the line, right? The one fearing. Verb is what? Acceptable, right? This is explaining the subject. So this is predicate. Adjective, right? So the one fearing is acceptable. This is a prepositional phrase to him. This is a prepositional. We took a look at prepositional phrase before here. Look at here, of Christ or among you, you know, preposition followed by its object. That's prepositional phrase. And here, I think it's prepositional phrase, yeah, to him. Yeah, I don't think it's an indirect object. Yeah, okay, so it's good. So the next one, a positive. He is the bread, the one coming down from heaven. I think it's taken from the book of John, the Gospel of John. So he is the bread, object, no, predicate, right? Predicate, noun, the bread. So, you know, the bread explains he, right? And then a positive, right? The one. So in English translations, you will see like he is the bread, the one coming down from. So you know that the one and he are in the appositional relationship, right? He and the one are referring to the same person. He is the bread, or maybe you could say the bread and the one are in the appositional relationship. He is the bread, the one. Again here, participle is coming. Who's coming? The one is coming, right? So the coming is modifying the one. So you draw a line, coming, and then down. Down is the adverb, coming down. So down is modifying coming. So coming down, this is a prepositional phrase. Sorry, just like this one, right? So coming down, coming from heaven. So these two are modifying coming, right? So I think by doing this exercise, I think we are kind of exercising our logic, you know, trying to see the logic behind each sentence. And I think this will be useful because when you read the Bible, you know, it's written in human language, right? And the human languages are written in logical, you know, it's logically, right? So you have to see the logic behind the sentence to understand what is being stated in each sentence, right? So this will help you to kind of analyze each sentence, trying to see, okay, what is the, you know, where is the focus? Where is the focus here in this sentence? He is the bread. He is the bread. You know, that is the focus. He is the bread. And then the bread is coming down from heaven, right? Okay. I think we are getting to the end of it. Okay. So we have just a few more. Adverbial participle. Okay. Adverb modifies again adjective, adverb, another adverb or verb, right? That's adverb. So adverbial participle means the participle that's modifying an adjective or an adverb or a verb, right? So look at the example. They rejoiced. So this is subject and verb. And then what? Beholding the stars, right? They rejoiced. How? Rejoiced how? Beholding the stars. So this participle is kind of modifying rejoiced. They rejoiced how? Beholding, or while. Okay, maybe. While beholding. So beholding is a verb and the object. And this is just a definite article, right? So participles should go under the baseline, and then it's connected by a vertical line and a parallel line. This line that's parallel to the baseline. Okay. Okay. We having been justified by faith have peace with God. Okay. I think there is a problem here. Okay. Let me explain what I'm thinking. We having been justified. Having been justified. I think people can have different views, but I'm wondering if having been justified faith modifies have or we. If this modifies we, it would be called the adjectival participle. It doesn't matter too much. We are the ones who have been justified by faith. Therefore, we have peace with God. Or we having been justified by faith, peace with God. So there is some room of ambiguity when you do this diagramming practice. This could be one example. Maybe I would be interested in hearing from you what you think about this. But anyway, let's say that this is fine. So we have peace. So subject, verb, direct object. We have peace. Peace with whom? With God. This is a prepositional phrase, right? And then we have this participle. So we have peace having been justified. Or maybe, the logic is because we have been. Because we have been justified by faith, have peace with God. So I think this kind of explains how it is possible to have peace with God. It's because we have been justified by faith. So it's kind of explaining the way in which we have peace with God. So it's kind of like, I think we can say this adverbial, like kind of modifying the verb. We have peace, but how? Because we have been justified by faith, right? So this is fine. This is another prepositional phrase, right? Okay. Prayer was coming to pass. Prayer was coming to pass. That's a one long verb. Was coming to pass. Prayer was coming to pass. Prayer was happening, so this is a subject, verb. The whole thing is a verb. And then fervently in the church, to God, for him, for Peter, I guess. So we have 4 different adverbs, or this is adverb, this is a prepositional phrase, another prepositional phrase, another prepositional phrase, right? But they they're all modifying what's coming to pass. Prayer was happening fervently in the church to God for him. Okay, the last one. Okay, look at it. Judah and Silas were also being prophets themselves, encouraged and strengthened the brethren with a lengthy message. Okay, so very long, but who are the subjects? You know, we have two subjects, right? Judas and, so put and in between here, Silas, and then this is the baseline, sorry, and then here subject and verb, encouraged and strengthened. So we have two verbs, right? And in the middle, who? This is the continuation of the baseline. The brethren, direct object, the brethren. And then here, Judas and Silas also being, okay, this is a participle, being prophets themselves. They are prophets themselves, right? So they are obviously modifying these subjects. So that's why we put this line on this point, not here, right? Here, because they are modifying the subjects, right? So Judas, Silas are prophets themselves. So they also being prophets themselves, encouraged and strengthened the brethren with a message. So with a message, with a lengthy message, modifying these verbs. Encouraged and strengthened. How? With a message. You know, so they are adverbial phrase. You know, the adverbial prepositional phrase, right? So and lengthy message. But the reason why I made this line very long, like after this point, is that when you read this verse in the Bible, this is, you know, this is the order, that order of the words that this is the order in which these different elements of the sentence appears, right? Judah and Silas also being the prophets themselves, encouraged and strengthened the brethren with lengthy message. Even though this is modifying the verbs, they still appear at the end of the sentence. So I wanted to put them at the end by extending this line, right? Okay. So anyway, this is it. I'm sure you will have many questions, and I have to tell you that in the previous classes, this is the assignment with which many students really struggle. You know, one smart student told me that and said that this was the first time English sounded like a foreign language to him, right? So it is actually it can be quite difficult for you, but we still I strongly believe that we need this kind of exercise, because this will make you read the Bible verses very closely, kind of and kind of helps you analyze the verses to help you to see what is the focus, where is the focus in the verses that you read, right? And in this verse, Judah and Silas encouraged and strengthened. That's the post. Who? The brethren. How? With a lengthy message. Why? Because they are prophets themselves, right? So this is kind of, who, when, what, how, why, those questions. So this will help you. I hope that you will appreciate this method as you continue to study the Bible. Okay. Again, feel free to ask questions by writing on the comment section on YouTube. Okay. All right. Bye bye.